Okay. Is it visible to you? My PPT? Hello? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here, then in the previous class, we were discussing about this reflection coefficient, input reflection coefficient and output reflection coefficient. And we derived expression for input reflection coefficient and output reflection coefficient using this signal flow graph. Signal flow graph for this that signal flow graph is, so here this is a network here with a two-port network connected with the source and load impedance as shown in this figure. It's a signal flow graph is like this. Okay, so using signal flow graph reduction, using signal flow graph reduction rules, we can obtain expression for tau in and tau out. Okay, so that tau in it is a ratio of b1 by a1. Tau n is the ratio of b1 by a1. So this b1 by a1 you can easily obtain from this signal flow graph as we discussed in the previous class. So by first, so this is the network what signal flow graph of this. You can apply signal flow graph reduction rule first to the this part of this output part. So this is along with the load TOEL, we have a reflection coefficient TOEL. Okay, so applying signal flow graph reduction rule, that is, see, you can see the two parallel branches are there, but they are in the opposite direction like this. Okay, parallel branch. This can be reduced. This kind of signal flow graph can be. Hello, hello. Is please put off your mic. Someone is kept a mic on. Please, all of you, keep your mic off. Okay, so that is signal flow graph. It can be a self loop like this and a branch. Outgoing branch remains the same. So this is an example like this. If there is a parallel branches like this in the opposite direction, you can replace that by using this signal flow graph. That is a self loop and one branch like this. So by applying like this, you will be having like this. Okay, and further this is now this is reduced to like this can be further reduced to this form using again this one self looping one. See here, this is having self loop is there. It can be replaced by a self loop can be eliminated by changing the multiplication here, see like this. So using that we got this one, and this it is like a two parallel branches are there. This is series rule. By applying series rule, this will become a single branch like this. And next, this is a parallel, two parallel branches are there. So it is the addition of this multiplication factor plus this one. It eliminates the two branches to one. See, like it will be reduced like this one branch. Addition of S11 plus this one, you can have a single branch like this. So it is now A1 and B1 connected with a branch like this. So that A1 by A1 B1, this is equal to, see like here, B1. See, your single branch here. What is this B1? B1 is equal to the signal coming to the B1. Signal coming to the branch, to the node B1 is A1 times S11. This is B1 is equal to S11 A1. So that is B1 by A1 equal to S11. B1 by A1 is equal to S11. So using this, see here, this is B1 by A1 equal to this. Okay, so like this is a tau in is the input reflection coefficient, and it is given by this equation. Similarly, we obtained in the previous class. So this is input reflection coefficient. Okay, at here input side. Similarly, we obtained output or reflection coefficient. So this is the output reflection coefficient you obtained in the previous class. So, and these two are very important, input reflection coefficient and output reflection coefficient, while designing our microwave and RF circuits. Okay, for example, say like this. So this is a transistor. This is a BJT. Okay, this BJT is represented by using S parameters. See like this. This is the S matrix. S matrix of this net BJT at a particular frequency. Okay, see this is a BJT here. This is a two-port network. See like this, two-port network. Okay, here this BJT is represented by using S matrix like this. This S matrix, that is some parameters are there, S11, S12, S21 and S22. These parameters at a particular frequency. Okay. Actually, for a given transistor, see for example, any transistor, maybe FET, BJT or MOSFET, the transistor is represented by using a S matrix table. See, I will show you that. Here is a table. See, like this. Is it audible? Hello? 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 Is it audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is the slide visible to you? This what I am showing. See here, S parameter of transistor BFP182W. So this I have taken from some data sheet. Okay. So usually they will provide like this table, S parameters table for that particular transistor. See, this transistor has, see, this is a Siemens small signal semiconductors BJT. Okay. Silicon, NPN, RF bipolar. This is a RF transistor. We can't use that SL100. See, SL100 is there. That is for low frequency operation. It will not work for RF frequency range. Okay. So this is that's why they specified RF bipolar junction transistor. Okay, and common emitter S parameters. They were providing here common emitter parameters, because in most of the amplification purpose we are using common emitter configuration. Okay, so they are provided here common emitter S parameters. Okay, S parameters means here S11, S21, S12 and S22. Okay, S11 says how much reflection is there. S21 says what is the transmission, what is the transmission at the output. It may be output may be greater than input, because the transistor increases the signal, is correct. So S21 may be greater than the input, or it may be less than the input. Okay, based on the device. So for a transistor usually it is a value will be more. Okay, so for example, you see here is a table for a transistor like a BJT or FET, anyone of RF and microwave frequency, the table will be provided like this. This is a table. Okay, they used to specify the frequency. See here, this is the frequency gigahertz, gigahertz, 0.01 gigahertz. Similarly, see here 1 gigahertz, 2 gigahertz, 3 gigahertz, 6 gigahertz. Okay, so like that frequency is given here. And next you can see after the after this frequency there is a S11. You see here S11 is there. S11 its magnitude is here, because it's a complex number. Scattering parameters are complex. They have magnitude and angle. So this is a magnitude here 0.4158 and angle is minus 10 degree. Okay, similarly S21. So this is the one. If you send a signal at port 1, the output at port 2, okay, it has a magnitude of 33.968 magnitude. Okay, S21 is a 33.96. You can just verify what is the output here. V2 divided by V1. V2 is 33 times the V1. Okay, that is at 0.01 gigahertz. 0.01 gigahertz. Similarly, S12. You see here S12. Here is S21 is 33, but you can see here S12 it's 0.0017. That means it doesn't send, doesn't allow the signal to transmission from 2 to 1. Is correct. You see S12 means we are sending a signal at port 2 and receiving a signal at 1, but magnitude what you can observe here, it is 0.001. That means it doesn't allow the signal in the opposite direction. That is the meaning here. Similarly, S22, it is some value, it has a magnitude. Okay, so like that at each frequency, this is at frequency 0.01 gigahertz. Similarly, you see for most of the frequencies they used to provide here. See like this. Okay, with some steps is they used to provide the what is the way value magnitude of the S21 changes. See at 0.01 it is a 33, but you can see at 1 gigahertz same transistor. If you try to operate at a 1 gigahertz, you see here 1 gigahertz, it is a marked here, it is 4.599. S21 is 4.599. That means output is V2. V2 is V2 is 4.599 times input. Okay, at 1 gigahertz. But at zero point 0.01 gigahertz, it is more. You see, 33.96. That means V2 is 33 times the V1, 33 times. But it reduces here. You see, at 1 gigahertz, it is only 4.99 times 599 times the V1, so it reduces. So gain S21 doesn't remain same. That means output, even apply a same input, you are putting a 1 volt only, but output changes as the frequency changes, it doesn't remain the same. So if you want to design at a 1 gigahertz, you should note down what is the transistor parameter at that particular frequency. See here, operating, if for example, if you are using this transistor to operate at a 1 gigahertz, you should note down these parameters. What is the parameter at 1 gigahertz? Okay, so these values you should use while designing the our circuit. Okay, a transistor is used to operate at 1 gigahertz. Okay, you choose the select these values, and using these values you should do design whatever other components, biasing, or it may be a input matching network, output matching network, and all others should be designed by taking S parameters at 1 gigahertz. Okay, similarly you can see here, as you go on increasing frequency at the 5 gigahertz, you see at 5 gigahertz, you can observe here S21 is only 0.918. Okay, so this is a point 9.919. That is it is very less the output voltage. So it doesn't give a same response at all frequencies. Whatever the frequency you want to operate, you have to take the S parameter at that particular frequency. And also, so if this gain is not enough, for example, at one we want to design an amplifier, okay, but it is only S21 is only 4.599. Okay, it may not be enough for your application. Then what you have to do, you should not consider this transistor, you should not go for this transistor, you should go for some other transistor. Okay, there are a lot of manufacturing companies are there, they will provide data sheet based on your requirement. For example, at 1 gigahertz, which transistor give a more gain. Okay, at least if you want a 10 dB, 10 dB or 10 gain, S21 must be equal to 10, or it may be 20 if you want. Then you cannot choose this one. Okay, you should take a some, you should search for some other transistor. Okay, so like that you should choose based on the requirement. So at RF frequencies or microwave frequencies, the devices are represented by using S parameters like this. Okay, so this we have to see while designing that. Okay, and also few more parameters were given here. See here, using scattering parameters. See, there are some things are there. These things we will discuss in the theories. Afterwards, we will come to know what are these things in the specifications. Okay, so like this, specification sheets will be there at RF and microwave frequencies. You should go through those sheets, and you should select the transistor based on your requirement. Okay. Okay, is it audible to all of you? Okay. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so in the previous class we did that is a two-port here. For example, like this. Okay, this is a transistor, a common emitter. For example, if you are designing this using this transistor in the common emitter configuration to design the amplifier. Okay, then so this is a S matrix. So what is this S matrix? So this is at that particular frequency. At what frequency you want amplification? Okay, that frequency S parameter you have to choose like this. Okay, then you have to proceed for the design. Okay, so now reflection coefficient. Now this so this for a given transistor, as said, for a transistor, this S matrix is fixed at a given frequency. Okay, 1 gigahertz, for example, these parameters are fixed. Okay, so now based on these values and the load ZL, tau in and tau out are fixed here. See, tau in is there, tau out is there. As we know, tau in and tau out. Okay, this tau in and tau out depends on these S parameters of the device. See here, S22, S12, and S21, S12, S2, S21, and S22. So based on these values, okay, S parameters of the device decides the tau in and tau out. Okay, so we chosen this transistor, its S matrix is fixed for that particular frequency. Okay, so automatically this tau out and tau in fixed here, tau in is fixed now. Okay, your input reflection coefficient and output reflection coefficients are fixed now. Okay, but now you see here ZS is there. This is ZS is 2in is you calculated it takes some value. Okay, similarly we calculated out it has some value, and load impedance ZL is there, ZS is there. So automatically this there is a because of this 2in should be a complex conjugate of this stored. In the previous class I was telling about that. Okay, so for maximum power transfer what we needed is this tau in must be the complex conjugate of tau s. Similarly, tau out must be the complex conjugate of tau l. Then maximum power will be delivered. That is nothing but this zs is a complex conjugate of zin. Zin means looking into this, you see here, looking into this direction here. So what is the between these two terminal, between these two terminal, that is a Zin here. So this Zs must be the complex conjugate of this Zin. Then maximum power will be delivered to this network. Okay, so this Zin is fixed based on the value of transistor parameters here, S parameters. Okay, that means the tau in is fixed. We cannot change that. Okay, and ZS also it may be from previous circuit. So there is a mismatch. Okay, so we have to match this. Tau s with the ZS must be matched with the Zn, or tau in must be complex conjugate of this. Then only maximum power will be delivered. Okay, okay, so that is I was telling about in the previous class. This for maximum. So if it is not the case, so if it is ZS is not a complex conjugate of input impedance of this network, what we have to do, we should go for impedance matching network. See here, this is the impedance matching network. You should connect. What we have to do, by connecting this, looking into this direction, this TOS, you should make this TOS or the input impedance of between these two terminal, that impedance whatever is there should be the complex conjugate of impedance looking in this direction. Okay, so that way we have to design here. We already studied that in the TLW, how to design a matching network. Okay, so you should make equal to the impedance of this, then maximum power will be delivered to here. So that's why impedance matching network is here and impedance matching network is here. So in as a at RF and microwave, always there is a matching network at the input side as well as at the output side. Okay, so this we were discussing in the previous class. So this tau out and tau in, and these values tau out and tau in, for a unilateral case, unilateral, that means if S21 is S12, S12 equal to 0, that means this network doesn't allow the signal from 2 to 1. For such a case, reflection coefficient in is only equal to S11. Similarly, 2 out is equal to only S22. We can substitute here S12 is 0. S12 0 means this whole term becomes 0. So tau out is S22. Similarly, if you put S120 here, this is become to S11. Okay, this is called as a unilateral case. Okay, if in the problem, if S12, if they provide that is equal to 0, that is called as unilateral case. Okay, otherwise it is called as a bilateral. Okay, if S12 is not equal to 0. Okay, so this tau n is this. So now we can see here, what is S12 here? S12. S12 is not equal to 0. This is S12. This is S21. S21. S21 is usually greater than, see, 2.82 within a 180-degree phase shift. Okay, in common emitter, as you know, collector output is always 180-degree phase shifted with respect to input. You know, all of you. Okay, output here is always 180-degree out of phase with respect to base. That you studied also in some course, I think. So here is S21. This is nothing but output here. This is the input. S21. S21 phase is 180-degree here. Okay, with respect to input. Okay, and the magnitude is 2.82. That means your output is 2.82 times input voltage. Automatically it has a gain. Okay, it has a gain 2.82 gain is, okay, and it has a 180-degree phase shift because of common emitter. Sorry, okay, what collector you are taking. Okay, that's so like this. So this is not a unilateral because S12 is not equal to 0. So S12 here not equal to 0, but it is very lesser. What you can observe, 0.04. Sometimes there may be a small value may be there here. If it is very small, then you can consider as a unilateral. See, like here 0.04, it is very less compared to the 1. Okay, 1 or 2, this value is very small. In such a cases, you can consider as a unilateral case. You can go for this assumption, but not always. For example, if it is 0.1, then we cannot consider, okay, as a unilateral one. Okay, well, that we will see unilateral when we can consider this as a unilateral, even it is provided, but it is very small. Okay, in such a case, we can consider that as a unilateral, assuming this is very small. Okay, okay, that we will see the unilateral case in the next sections. Okay, so if there is a value for this, that is called as a bilateral case. Okay. Okay, so this is about okay, based on the conjugate impedance matching, maximum power transfer from the input matching network to the transistor or from transistor to the output matching network will occur when tau n is a complex or tau out equal to tau L complex conjugate. Okay, so this we have to remember. This is one part of this topic. Okay. Okay, is it audible to all of you? Hello? What are you doing? How many are there? Chinmayi is there? Chinmayi, Rakshit PT, Rakshit R, Vivekanand, Vivek TG. Hello? Vivek TG is there? Hello? See. Amruta? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Bindu? Bindu is there?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. And then Sushma? Sushma? Jamuna? Let's see. Nikita? Hello?
Ma'am.
Nikita is there?
Sushma.
Okay, fine. Okay, so next, there is a definition. There are some definitions are there in this topic. That is power definitions. Okay, called as a power definitions. There are power definitions and gain definitions. Before going to the gain definitions, we will see power definitions. So because as we saw in the earlier classes, at RF and microwave we are always measuring the power instead of the voltage. Okay, so now that's why there are power definition is there. Okay, in the power there are four type of powers we are defining in case of this RF and microwave. That is PIN. Okay, PIN notation is called as PIN. This is the input power to the network. Input power to the network. Input power to the network means this is the network. Okay, this is a network here. What is the power input to the network? Actually, power input to this network. Okay, not power incident, not the power incident to the one. See, incident means A1 is incidenting here. What is the power here? Incident power is different from power input to the network. Are you getting here? This is the incident power. Okay, incident power is not the power delivered to the network or input to the network. So how do we get a power input to the network? That is input power here. Out of this input power, a part will be reflected back like this. Okay, as a wave B1. Okay, A1 is incidenting. Out of that, a part will be going out. So we should minus the power in B1 from power in A1. Okay, then we will be getting actually power inputting to the network. Understand here? So A1 is the wave incident over the network. That it has a power. What is the power of this wave A1? A1 is a wave incidenting at a port 1. Okay, it has a power. What is, how do we calculate power here? It is a power voltage. Actually is a voltage. Okay, if you take a square of this magnet, because it is a complex, it has a magnitude as well as a phasor. Phasor means has a magnitude and a phase. So take a magnitude of this, square that, see like this, A1 square, magnitude square, that gives the power. And RMS power we are taking. RMS power means it is a 1 by 2. 1 by root 2. See, you already studied RMS. How do you, power is given by V into I. Is correct. V by R. V into I is V by R. Okay. So it is V square by R. Assuming this is normalized 1, because it will cancel in our definitions. So we will take it as a 1. Then PRMS is equal to V square. Okay. But RMS value is V by root 2. Vm by root 2, maximum voltage, Vm by root 2, you studied that, Vm by root 2 whole square. Okay, so this is V is Vm by root 2, so this is half. Okay, so our case, it is instead of V we have taken is a A1, so it is half into A1 square. What does it represent? This is the power in A1. A1 is a wave. Okay, power in A1, input power, incident power, that is this value. Okay, what does it represent? This represents the power of this wave A1 incidenting to the network. So out of that, a part will be reflecting wave. So you find the power of this. What is the power in B1? That is B1 magnitude square. 1 by 2 B1 magnitude square. We will be getting power in this wave, outgoing wave. So you take a incident power minus this one, you will be getting the input power to this network, power to inputting to the network. Okay, so that I have done. So here if you take this common 1 by A1 square outside, what do you get? This first term is 1 here, minus it is here B1 by B1 magnitude square divided by A1 magnitude square. Okay, so what is that? B1 magnitude square divided by A1 magnitude square, that is equal to reflection coefficient 2in. 2in is equal to B1 by A1, but here we have square, so it is a 2in magnitude square. Okay, this second term. So if we take this outside and arrange, we will be having this B1 by A1 magnitude square. So that is 2in magnitude square. So this is the 1. So power input equal to this. Okay. So now further we can simplify this. Okay. how do we do that? We will proceed like this. Power input power. Okay, how to calculate that? Here we will say, see like this. We will do like this because it is easy to understand by you people, I think, because we were using this always in our network analysis and other low frequencies. Okay, so this V1. What is V1 here? Voltage at this position between these two terminals. You see here, this is a figure is voltage between these two terminals equal to V1. Okay, what is V1 here? See, at RF and microwave frequencies, we are considering waves. This is incident signal is going in this direction, that is A1, and the signal is going in the opposite direction, that is reflected wave. Two waves are there, one is a incident wave, another is a reflected wave. So at any position, if you measure at here or any position over this transmission line, at any position if you measure voltage between any terminal, see like this, it is the addition of these two waves A1 and B1, is correct. This V1, it is the addition of A1 and B1. Voltage here is the addition of A1 and B1. So that I have written here. Okay, what is this V1 actually? It is A1 plus B1, and it is also given by, see, it is also given by as a low frequency. What is this V1? It is a voltage drop between these two terminals. Let the impedance between these two terminals is equal to Zin. This is Zin. Between these two terminals, the impedance is Zin. How do you get a voltage here? Here, that is current flowing here multiplied by the impedance Zin. Okay, assuming there is a impedance equal to Zin. So voltage between these two terminals is given by current multiplied by Zin. What is the current here then? Current, that means entire this part can be replaced by Zin here. Okay, then current flowing like this. That current is given by Vs divided by Zs plus Zin, this Zin. So it is Vs divided by Zs plus Zin. So we found a current here. That multiplied by Zin gives the V1. So V1 is also equal to this. Okay, that is equal to A1 plus B1. It is addition of two waves in as we define in RF and microwave. It is A1 plus B1. Now if we take this A1 outside, we will be getting 1 plus B1 by A1. It is equal to 1 plus 2In. See like this. This is B1 by A1 is equal to 2In. Okay. 2In also can be defined as 2In minus Z0, Zin minus Z0 divided by Zin plus Z0. This is 2In. It is B1 by A1. If you don't know the values of A1 and B1, if Zin is given, how do you calculate a 2In? It is Zin minus Z0 divided by Zin plus Z0. We can do like this. Okay. So now, TOIS is similarly here. It is based on this. Okay, it is Zs minus Z0 divided by Zs plus Z0. Okay, so now V1, it is also equal to this. Now from equation 1, see here, from equation 1, you can simplify like this. What is this? Vs Zn by Zn. You take it. This is a equation 1. Equation 1 is this complete. Okay, this I have taken this one plus this last term. Okay, all are equal. Okay, so A1 1 plus 2In equal to this. So now A1, what is A1 here? A1 is equal to this Vs divided by Zs plus Zin divide 1 plus 2In. We rearrange this, get a value of A1. Rearrange equation 2 to get the value of A1. You will be left with this equation. Okay, this is the equation. Now further rearranging this, see, you 2In you substitute, 2In you know, okay, or you rearrange this, rearrange the terms here. By doing some mathematical manipulation over this equation, you will be getting A1 is equal to this, A1 equal to this, that is A1 equal to Vs by 2, this Vs by 2, 1 minus 2s divided by 1 minus 2s into 2In. Okay, rearranging this equation, you will be getting this equation. So a1 is equal to this Vs by 2, 1 minus 2s divided by 1 minus 2s into 2in. Okay, equation 3. Okay, so now here, what is the input power? Input power is given by, here we saw here input power, it is this incident power take and minus reflected power, you will be getting the PIN, that is the power input to the network. So here this is the equation. I have taken this equation here. Here, what is PIN? It is half into A1 magnitude square 1 minus 2IN magnitude square. Okay. So now the substitute value of A1. What is A1? We got here. This is the A1. Okay. Substituting this A1 here in this equation A1, you will be getting this equation. You see this, because Vs magnitude square, here is 2 is there, multiply 4 it will, because square A1 square is there. 4 into 2, 8 we will be getting, and this 1 minus 2s magnitude square, because magnitude we are taking here. This also magnitude square, and this term remains the same, this one. Okay, so like equation 4 we get PIN is equal to this equation 4. So what is the input power now? You can say, you can get up input power from this equation. Using this equation, you can calculate what is the input power. Okay, see, carefully you have to observe PIN. It depends upon TOS. What is TOS? TOS related to ZS. And what is this ZS? And tau in. Tau in related to all parameters, S parameters. You should calculate tau S. Tau S from the equation, this. And tau in. Okay. Usually tau in, Zin we do not know. That's why what we have to do, you should use this equation. Because these S parameters will be provided to the network. So using these S parameters, you should calculate the value of tau in, and that you should substitute here. Then you will be getting what is the input power, PIN, actual input power to the network. What is inputting here to the network? Actual power inputting to the network. That is the power actually converted into output or going to output, whatever will happen. Okay, that's why. So this is PIN, actually delivered to the network. Over that, it to do the operation. Actually, on this power, whatever you applied, over that it will do the operation. That means it may amplify only this power. Okay, not the power in this A1, because out of A1 a part is going out. That's why that is not amplified. Only this part, whatever deliver to this, that gets amplified if it is an amplifier circuit. Okay, so that's why you should calculate this. What is this? Okay, so like that. PIN, that is actual power. This is a one. Okay, that is a one definition. What is the input power? Actually, power input into the network is represented by PIN. That equation you can use like this. Similarly, another definition for power, next power, that is power dissipated in ZL here. So we are inputting a part of the power. What is the power delivered to the load ZL? Okay, power delivered to the load ZL. That is important now. We know what is the input power. Okay, how much is the actual power inputting to the network, and what is the power actually delivered to the load, that we know, that we want to know. What is this power actually delivered to the load? How do we calculate that? See here, it is defined, you can calculate this using this derivation. Okay, so B2 is the wave incidenting on this ZL. It's correct. B2 wave is coming. Always speak about a wave only. Afterwards, you have to get the power. Okay, that is B2 magnitude square. 1 by 2 B2 magnitude square gives the power of this wave. So B2 is incidenting, wave B2 incident over this. Okay, but a part will be reflecting back, and out of B2 will not fully deliver to the load. Okay, a part will be reflecting back. So automatically the power in this A2 we cannot consider. Out of power in this B2, a part will be reflecting back. So what is actually delivered to here? That is here. See, PL is given by, you take a power in the incident wave. Power in the incident wave. That is, how do we calculate power in the incident wave? This way. B2 magnitude square of B2 magnitude square. That is a power in the incident wave. Minus the power going out as a reflection. That is power in the A2. Power is A2 magnitude square. 1 by 2 A2 magnitude square. Okay. You will be getting the power, actual power delivered to the load, ZL. So, actual power delivered to the load is this PL. So, okay, this value. But B2 is, what is a B2? What is B2? B2 you can, we already studied this in the previous class. B2 is given by S21 A1 plus S22 A2. I told it in the previous class. Okay, B2. S21 A1 plus, that is the transmitted power from port 1 here, S21 times A1 plus S22 times A2, because a part will be reflected. That is a B2 here. And A2 is here, what is the reflected wave? It is 2L times B2. 2L times B2 gives the A2. A2. A part of B2 reflect back. Part means it is 2L times B2, or A2 by B2 is equal to, sorry, this, okay, A2 by B2 is equal to, sorry, I did a mistake here. B2 equal to 12 into A2. Sorry, this one. It will change this. Okay, I have made a mistake here. This is a A2. A2 times 12, or sorry, the B2 time. Okay, sorry. Here is correct only. B2, sorry, correct only, because B2 is the incident here, correct, not a notation. And here is the incident means to the load. Okay, B2 times 12 times B2 is a A2 is correct. A part of this B2 reflect. What is a part there? That is depends on the 12. 12 is ZL minus Z0 divided by ZL plus Z0. Okay, so that you can calculate, and that is a A2 here. So A2 equal to this, and A1 is this. A1 already we obtained this. A1 in the previous here we obtained this A1. Okay, A2 we know, A1 we know. You substitute that in this equation, you will be getting the B2. See here, B2. B2 is equal to this. Okay, by substitute B2 is this, to the B2 you substitute A2 and A1, you will be getting B2. So this B2, here we have to substitute here B2 and A2. Substitute, we have a B2 and substitute a A2 here. Okay, and simplify. Otherwise, what we can do here, you can simplify further. You take a B2 outside here. Okay, A2 by B2 is there. What is A2 by B2? It is a reflection coefficient TOL. Is correct? TOL. A2 by B2 is the reflection coefficient TOL. Okay. So this further, if you simplify by substituting here B2 is now this one, you substitute here, this one remains here, and substituting that we will be getting here. So finally the value of PL, power delivered to the load here, ZL, is given by this equation. This is the equation, power delivered to the one. And you can see here power delivered to the load depends upon Vs, that is the input voltage. Okay, this is S21, it depends upon the coefficient of S parameters of the two-port network, S21, S22, and okay, and depends upon TOS, that is the ZS, also it depends, and also it depends upon the value of ZL. So all these parameters, ZS, ZL, and device S parameters decides the value of PL. So this is the expression for PL. Okay, so that is called actually power delivered to the load, ZL. Power delivered to the load is the PL here. So power input to the network is PIN. Okay, so next, another definition. Okay. Okay, we will see it in the next class. Okay, power definitions, other power definitions, and remaining topics will continue in the next class. Okay, you understood about this power input power. This is the derivation. I have written here all the steps, so you can go through this video or PPT I will provide you. You can go through this derivations. You can practice the derivations. Okay. Okay. In the next class, we will see. Hello.